Captain Slow just spent millions on a collection of cars that, surprisingly, isn't built around speed. Most people know James May as the calm, methodical presenter from Top Gear and the Grand Tour, the man who would rather explain how something works than race it. But away from the cameras, May has quietly assembled one of the most fascinating classic car collections in the automotive world. Unlike most collectors who chase horsepower or rarity alone, James May buys cars for a completely different reason. Every vehicle in his garage represents an idea, an engineering breakthrough, or a chapter in automotive history. Some are icons, others are forgotten masterpieces, but every one of them has a story worth telling. And some of those stories are stranger than fiction. From an American muscle car that rewrote the rulebook to a Ferrari purchased simply to prove Jeremy Clarkson wrong, we're taking a closer look inside James May's remarkable garage. Let's begin. The first car perfectly captures May's appreciation for engineering over reputation, a 1963 Chevrolet Corvette split window. At first glance, it's easy to admire the dramatic rear window that made the 1963 Corvette instantly recognizable. But James May sees something deeper. To him, this car represents the moment America proved it could build a sports car with genuine sophistication. Under the hood sits Chevrolet's legendary 327 cubic inch V8, delivering impressive performance for its era. Yet what fascinates me most isn't the speed, it's the early mechanical fuel injection system, an advanced piece of engineering that was well ahead of its time. The car spent decades hidden away before being carefully restored, preserving as many original components as possible. For May, replacing its complicated fuel injection with something modern would have made the car easier to live with, but far less interesting. Sometimes, imperfections are exactly what make a machine worth preserving. That same appreciation for bold engineering continues with one of America's wildest muscle cars, the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible. Built during the peak of the muscle car era, the Hemi Cuda wasn't designed to be subtle, it was built to dominate. Powered by Chrysler's legendary 426 Hemi V8, the car became an icon almost overnight. Official power figures barely hinted at its true potential, and that's part of the legend surrounding it. For James May, however, the attraction isn't simply brute force, it's the sheer audacity of the project. In an era when manufacturers competed to build bigger, louder, and faster machines, the Hemi Cuda became the ultimate expression of American excess. It's outrageous, impractical, and somehow brilliant. Exactly the kind of engineering experiment that May can't resist. Not every performance car in James May's garage relies on massive displacement. The Porsche 911 GT3 represents the complete opposite philosophy. Where American muscle overwhelms you with power, the GT3 rewards precision. Its naturally aspirated flat-six engine, razor-sharp steering, and track-focused chassis create a driving experience that's almost surgical. Every input matters, every corner demands concentration. That mechanical honesty is exactly why May admires it. To him, a great sports car isn't simply fast, it communicates. It tells the driver exactly what's happening beneath the tires, turning every journey into a conversation between machine and human. For someone fascinated by engineering, few cars speak more clearly than a Porsche GT3. If one purchase best illustrates James May's sense of humor, it's his 1963 Ferrari 250 GTE. The story goes that Jeremy Clarkson once dismissed the 250 GTE as one of Ferrari's least desirable Grand Tourers. Naturally, James May bought one. Not to show off, but to prove a point. Beneath its elegant bodywork lies Ferrari's celebrated Colombo V12, an engine that delivers smooth power and unmistakable character. Yet May argues that the 250 GTE deserves recognition for something even more important. It helped transform Ferrari from a company focused almost entirely on racing into a manufacturer capable of building luxurious road cars for everyday use. That shift would eventually define Ferrari for decades. Sometimes the cars history overlooks turn out to be the ones that changed everything. Next comes a machine created for one purpose alone: winning. The 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 wasn't built because Ford needed another Mustang. It existed because NASCAR regulations demanded it.
To homologate its massive racing engine, Ford produced a limited number of road-going Boss 429s, creating one of the most legendary muscle cars ever made. The enormous V8 barely fit beneath the hood, forcing engineers to redesign parts of the chassis simply to accommodate the engine. For James May, that's what makes the Boss 429 so fascinating. It isn't elegant. It isn't refined. It's engineering driven entirely by competition. And sometimes, that's exactly what produces automotive legends.
The 1959 Bentley S2 Continental. This wasn't designed to be the fastest luxury car in the world. Instead, it was built to make every journey feel effortless. Beneath its long bonnet sits a smooth 6.2-liter V8, delivering power with remarkable refinement rather than aggression. Rolls-Royce and Bentley rarely quoted horsepower figures in those days, believing performance should be experienced, not measured. Inside, the cabin is a celebration of traditional craftsmanship. Rich leather, hand-finished wood veneers, polished chrome, and meticulous attention to detail create an atmosphere that's closer to a private club than a motor car. For James May, the Bentley represents an era when engineers and craftsmen were given the freedom to pursue excellence without accountants dictating every decision. It's not just transportation, it's rolling British history. If the Bentley represents elegance, the next car represents innovation. The 1963 Studebaker Avanti R2 arrived at a time when the American automotive industry was obsessed with chrome and oversized fins. Studebaker took a different approach. Its futuristic fiberglass body looked unlike anything else on the road, while beneath the hood, a factory-supercharged V8 delivered performance that embarrassed many of its rivals. James May has often admired cars that dared to be different, and the Avanti fits that philosophy perfectly. Rather than following trends, Studebaker attempted to redefine what an American Grand Tourer could be. The company itself wouldn't survive much longer, but the Avanti became proof that bold ideas sometimes outlive the businesses that created them.
Italian sports cars occupy a special place in almost every enthusiast's heart, and James May is no exception. Among them sits the 1985 Ferrari 308 GTB Quattrovolvo. Made famous by television and adored by collectors, the 308 combines elegant styling with one of Ferrari's most charismatic V8 engines. Unlike today's highly computerized supercars, everything about the 308 feels mechanical. The manual gearbox demands precision. The carburetors reward patience. The steering communicates every texture of the road. For May, that's the entire appeal. Driving this Ferrari isn't about chasing lap records. It's about experiencing every sound, vibration, and movement exactly as the engineers intended. Sometimes the journey matters more than the destination.